on TV, and everybody's seen him. Usyk was a hell of a fighter, a gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but he was behind the scenes. Two guys with a crazy amateur backgrounds, and one guy is not being seen, and another guy is being seen. Then we call it an upset. No, it's just that.
What is your name? My name is Ivan. Yeah, it's a hard punch. Yeah, Ivan.
But immediately gets caught. What a fantastic jab from Usyk on the back foot. When you're right, he needs to bring his feet in the Floyd got to put Usyk under pressure, but immediately gets caught. What a fantastic jab from Usyk on the back foot. When you're right, he needs to bring his feet in the
Floyd Mayweather just sent shockwaves through the boxing world by claiming he could have beaten Oleksandr Usyk, and within minutes, the internet exploded. The undefeated 5-division champion, known as the greatest defensive fighter of all time, casually dropped the bomb during a media appearance. If Usyk and I were the same size, I would have outboxed him. That single comment set the sports world ablaze. The reigning undisputed heavyweight champion, the master technician from Ukraine, had just been hypothetically challenged by a legend from far below the heavyweight ranks. It was the kind of impossible dream match no one saw coming. Two titans from different dimensions now thrown into the same spotlight. And Usyk's response? No insults, no bravado, just a quiet, almost amused smirk, like a man who's heard it all, who doesn't need to argue with ghosts. That subtle smile became a meme within hours. TikTok blew up with fantasy edits and fan animations. YouTube analysts went into overdrive, frame by framing both fighters' highlights to determine who would win in this dream scenario. Reddit turned into a battleground of stats, GIFs, and AI-generated simulations.
All the fights, you've had 50. Who would you say was your toughest opponent?
You got guys that punch hard and hit hard, and you got guys that come out and win a few rounds. But nothing really was tough.
Floyd Mayweather has never been one to hold back, but this time, he said something that truly set the boxing world ablaze. During a media run in the wake of Oleksandr Usyk's historic win over Tyson Fury, Mayweather casually dropped a line that would echo across every corner of the internet. If I were in my prime, I could have beaten Usyk. There were no diagrams, no slow-motion replays, no over-analysis from Floyd himself. Just a cool, measured confidence, the kind only an undefeated 50-0 legend can deliver without blinking. It wasn't meant as disrespect. In fact, Mayweather has long praised Usyk's footwork, intelligence, and ring mastery. He's called him a hell of a fighter on more than one occasion. But when it comes to theoretical matchups, Floyd stays on brand. In his universe, no one, not even a genius at heavyweight, outboxes Floyd Mayweather. The internet, predictably, didn't stay calm.
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm hungry.
You hungry?
Yes.
Are you telling me to be quick then, yeah? So you can eat?
Floyd Mayweather's comments ignited a storm of online chatter. Oleksandr Usyk met them with the kind of quiet composure that has become his trademark. No outrage, no rebuttal, just a subtle smirk and a few dry, understated words that felt less like a dismissal and more like a silent checkmate. In a brief post-fight media interaction following his monumental win over Tyson Fury, Usyk was asked, somewhat vaguely, about boxing legends weighing in on his reign. His response wasn't direct, nor was it fiery. Instead, he leaned on humor and humility, treating fantasy matchups like background noise, entertainment, not strategy. That was the message. He didn't bite, didn't posture, and certainly didn't return fire. And that, in itself, said everything. It was classic Usyk. Fans who know him best weren't surprised. This is the man who smiles in face-offs, cracks jokes in press conferences, and studies opponents like a chess master pretending not to care about the board. He doesn't flex his record, he lets it speak. Even veteran voices in boxing chimed in. No one outright dismissed Mayweather's belief. After all, confidence built his empire. But most agreed, stylistically, physically, and strategically, Usyk presents a puzzle that even the greatest technicians would struggle to solve. And that's what made this moment so compelling. Mayweather reminded the world why he's still a headline in retirement, but Usyk, with a smile and silence, reminded the world why he's the reigning king of the ring. In boxing, sometimes the loudest statement is the one you never make.
The kind of guy could have lived in any era because he's a full package. He's technically solid. He's mentally solid. You know, he's got the physical gift. He's not great in one area, but he's very good in every area. area.
Teddy Atlas, the veteran trainer and no-nonsense boxing analyst, didn't have to name names to make his stance clear. Though he didn't directly address Mayweather's recent claim, Atlas has long been vocal about his admiration for Oleksandr Usyk, and his words carry weight in any boxing debate. He's a chess master, Atlas famously said after Usyk's first victory over Anthony Joshua. He makes the ring bigger when he wants it and smaller when you don't want it to be. It was more than praise, it was a declaration of just how rare Usyk's command of space and tempo truly
You think there's anybody out there that can take Usyk right now? Was anybody?
Tyson Fury. It's not an easy fight for either guy. So, you know, it looks like we're gonna have our first undisputed heavyweight champion.
Andre Ward, the unbeaten former light heavyweight champion, often mentioned in the same breath as Mayweather for his strategic FightIQ style, offered a more measured take. Speaking to Showtime after Usyk's victory over Tyson Fury, Ward acknowledged what fuels Mayweather's mindset. That kind of confidence is part of what made Floyd who he is. But Ward also drew a clear distinction. Usyk's beating up giants out there. It's a completely different equation. In other words, while he respected Mayweather's self-belief, Ward emphasized that comparing the two isn't straightforward. Floyd's brilliance came against men his size or smaller. Usyk, on the other hand, is mastering the art of beating much bigger, stronger opponents. To Ward, this isn't just a stylistic clash, it's a fundamental mismatch of scale.
Usyk is a beast. Usyk is not easy for anybody to beat. But I said the guy with the best chance. The guy with the best chance to me right now is Joseph Parker.
Yeah, I think Usyk.
And I'm not saying that he's going to beat him, but he's the guy with the best chance.
Even Roy Jones Jr., a man who famously jumped from middleweight all the way to heavyweight and captured a world title, admitted that the size difference makes the fantasy tough to fairly evaluate. Floyd was the best at his size, Roy said during a post-fight analysis. But Usyk is one of the smartest big men we've ever seen. Jones didn't dismiss the hypothetical outright, but he was honest about the complexity of it. If they were the same weight, I don't know, he added, acknowledging both fighters' brilliance. What Roy emphasized most was Usyk's movement. His footwork is ridiculous, especially for a guy his size. In this era, no heavyweight moves like him. Coming from a legend who defied weight classes himself, that kind of praise underscored just how uniquely skilled Usyk is, and how difficult it is to make direct comparisons, even in the realm of fantasy matchups.
Of this era, and he does the right things, he moves well, he doesn't get hit, and he's elusive, and he's hard to beat.
Lennox, just the final one. What would be your advice to
Lennox Lewis, one of the last men to reign as undisputed heavyweight champion before Oleksandr Usyk, didn't need to name names to make his opinion felt. Speaking after Usyk's victory over Tyson Fury, Lewis praised the Ukrainian's control under fire. He doesn't waste energy. He doesn't panic. That's rare, especially when a guy's getting hit, Lewis noted, highlighting not just Usyk's technical precision, but his composure under pressure, something even greats often lack at heavyweight. Lewis didn't directly address Floyd Mayweather's bold claim, but his point was unmistakable. Usyk isn't just a technician, he's a technician built for the heavyweight trenches, with the power, durability, and engine to match. And that changes everything. None of boxing's respected voices came out to endorse Mayweather's hypothetical challenge. Instead, most acknowledged it as vintage Floyd, confident, calculated, and attention-grabbing. But beneath the respectful nods was an undeniable subtext: size matters. And when that size comes packaged with Usyk's skill set, even all-time greatness can hit a wall. Tony Bellew, former cruiserweight champion turned analyst, and a man who's actually shared a ring with Usyk, was far more blunt. While recognizing Mayweather as a legend, Bellew dismissed the idea of him ever solving the Usyk puzzle. In his view, only two fighters have ever had the tools to challenge Usyk: Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Both have faced him twice. Both have lost
enjoyed
twice.
it, and he has turned to face Fury. Fury does eventually turn to face him.
Tomorrow night,
enjoyed it, and he has turned to face Fury. Fury does eventually turn to face him.
Tomorrow night.